Order up.
Hello, hello, hello. Uh, as you see, it's just us two this time. Corkenstein is actually setting up to take his trip to Japan, and that segues into this showcase. So, uh, what's the temperature for you, Q?
Well, if we're getting straight into talking about the Dev Direct, I very much enjoy watching it. When you go in and set expectations properly,
Yep.
you get really great results afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
They said they were going to have 4 games. We got 5. Instead of people being like, "Oh, well, they said 4, but there might be 6 or 7." No, they gave us
They
3. They said an
they
extra
got
one.
wild with the speculation. I
Yeah,
think they got up to about six, 6 games.
yeah. So I mean, we'll jump into each individual game, but overall, I've really enjoyed the direct. I'm excited for this year, Xbox and Game Pass.
That exactly, and we'll touch bases on that too. Let me fix my back here. Looking kind of my setup looking kind of janky here. So this is the first time I'm leading this, so we'll see how it goes. Ah, that was the best direct they've done. And the reason I say that is there's always been a game on one of the directs. Now, granted, we got three, but there's always been a game on the directs where there's one I didn't want to play. I think it was one of them was the Forza Motorsports. That sort of simulation racer just doesn't do it for me. I like strategy, but not 4X strategy. So Aura Untold was that game last year that I wasn't a huge on.
Oh, I'm
Dude, there was
surprised. I
not a
figured you would have tried that one.
no, wasn't interested. But Age of Mythology was around the corner, so I took that as priority. Uh but there ain't a damn game I didn't want to play in this direct, man. In
Nah,
fact,
like
I'm playing one right now.
nah,
So
everything that they showed is definitely something I'm gonna be playing this year. I well, let's just get into it and start naming stuff instead of just beating around the bush. So they started off with Ninja Gaiden 4, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that we had people leak it and be like, "Oh, this is going to be it," that to me was a great opening to the show and being like, "Yo, here's something that used to be." Like they keep showing us that they're like, hey, we're going back to what y'all liked. People are getting mad about the whole um excuse me. People are getting mad about the whole some of the games are going multi-platform, whatever. And it's like, but if you're paying attention to the games that are coming out, like Xbox is going back to its heyday. They're
yeah.
going back to having these franchises that were um associated with Xbox, being associated with Xbox again. Even if Ninja Gaiden 4 is on PlayStation 5 and Switch 2, maybe possibly whatever, it's published by Xbox. It's an Xbox
Hmm.
game. Like the franchise being uh, related to Xbox is back again. We're getting Fable back again. We're getting Gears coming back again. We're getting the Halo Studios is going to be working on other projects. Like we're seeing them go back, reach back to the 360 era, the Xbox One era, and bring some of that stuff forward. And even if it's not like specifically Xbox oriented, even like the Mech Warrior franchise, the BattleTech franchise,
Hmm.
most of those games are on Game Pass, and it's not necessarily associated with Xbox, but that used to be a Microsoft or Xbox property, and they've made sure that those games are available for people to play. Uh, Now, if they published a new Mechasalt or something like that, would obviously push that even further. But we're seeing it every time they show us new games that they're doing their best to bring back that the things that we felt that were related to Xbox in the olden days, like the OG Xbox and 360 days, and that definitely shined through with Ninja Gaiden. Haven't played any of these games, not gonna lie. I remember back when the first one came. Well, not the first one because it's a reboot, whatever. But the first of the newer ones came out, and it was the same thing that they kind of do with Souls games now, where like the only thing I ever really heard about Ninja Gaiden was it's hard, and
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of playing games that are hard just for being hard. But now, after some years, and that we have all the Ninja Gaidens available to us right here now, and the new one coming out, I'm definitely going to make my way through the first three games so I can prepare myself for four.
I am currently, well, let's go ahead and segue into that. Ninja Gaiden is back, baby. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black available now on Game Pass, and then Ninja Gaiden 4 done by Platinum Games, baby. Astral Chain, Near Automata, Bayonetta. They got some caliber, man, and it's
Almost
yeah, I'm
Scalebound.
still bummed out. I'm still bummed out about Scalebound, but I'll take this, buddy. Bet on that. I'm currently playing Ninja Gaiden 2. I don't know if I'll go back because the graphical, I don't know. It depends. I got a lot of stuff to play here in 2025.
True,
So
true, true.
I'm doing Ninja Gaiden 2 right now, having a blast with it. I think I'm up to um, chapter 7. And I was telling you before that we went live, well, not really live, is there's a character in there that looks not really reminiscent of a character in Stellar Blade, but all I'm gonna say is Xbox doesn't need Stellar Blade. So
They they got their own pair of animated cheeks somewhere. I'm assuming.
yeah, man, we got a femme fatale over here on Team Green, so we good, we very good over here. So have you been able to jump into it, dude? I'm having a blast with it.
So I have not yet because I am putting all my focus. Well, not all my focus because I've been playing some multiplayer stuff too. So I've been jumping into Rivals. I've been jumping into Halo Infinite just to get my. I literally jump into Halo and play a few rounds of Firefight and a few rounds of multiplayer a couple times a week just to make sure that I get all the rewards so I can finish out the passes. I like doing the operation passes. Um, but then outside of that, oh, and some Overwatch. So I've been jumping into some Rivals, some
Yeah, we've been playing some
Overwatch,
Overwatch
some
together.
Halo
Yeah.
Infinite. Um, and then I've been kind of focusing solely on playing Pillars of Eternity Deadfire so I can prepare myself for Avowed in less than a month.
Yep.
Because
Avowed.
that's that wasn't on the developer direct, but one of my most anticipated games for this year, and I'm super excited to play it when it comes out in February.
Dude, I don't know if I can give you most anticipated this year. I really don't know, man, because Outer Worlds 2, Avowed, Ninja Gaiden 4, Fable, Doom Dark Age, and that, which we'll talk about. And then that, do you have any, before we move on to the next one, do you have any thoughts about uh, Ninja Gaiden?
Oh well, like I said, I didn't really play the series coming up, but since they're all available to me now, I'm gonna try to get through the first three before four comes out. Four looks good. It was like so parts of the trailer were really reminiscent of Ghost Runner for me. Like like kind of like the cyberpunk ninja techie map that they showed where he's like swinging around and jumping. It was reminiscent of Ghost Runner, but obviously
It looked
completely
very
different
Platinum
titles.
Games.
Yeah, it was, and then like it. I saw the combat, and it's one of those things where I gotta feel how it feels playing versus just looking at what it looks like on the screen. You know what I mean? So hopefully, I get the feel of what the game's supposed to play like when I play the first three.
I wonder if Platinum Games is using this new character as a way to set up like a second trilogy for Ninja Gaiden, like a four,
That,
five, six.
that's possible. I like
So,
yeah. So once I play through the games and I figure out the story and then I see what four is about, I can be like, oh, okay, where are they going to take this? But now I literally have the only thing I know about Ryu Hayabusa is that he's in the Dead or Alive games, and that's the only reason why I know him. I
and
know him
the
because I
Halo
played Dead
3
or Alive
armor.
in arcade. Oh yeah, the Hayabusa.
Yep.
Yeah.
As
God,
far
that just made me sound really old when I was like, yo, I used to play Dead or Alive in arcade. Like,
Yep. Yo, that's a Koei Tecmo franchise, right?
Yep.
Dead or Alive, dude. We kind of sleep on Koei Tecmo and Xbox, dude. We really do,
That
because they're
they
kind of the
used to have
unsung hero.
they used to have a strong relationship. Like OG Xbox, they used to have a strong relationship because that's why Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive were like franchises for the platform.
Hmm.
Um, Koei Tecmo is still out here kicking hard. Like they still
Oh,
got
could
games
you
coming out
imagine
regularly.
Dead or Alive versus Killer Instinct? That'd be dope.
No,
But
because
really weird.
it'd be I don't know if Rare or whoever would work on Killer Instinct is going to put as much effort into jiggle physics as
Jiggle physics.
The Koei Tecmo team does, because that's what's
You just
Dead
add
or Alive
Blizzard
is
babes.
Team Ninja, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually the only games that I know from Koei Tecmo are Team Ninja games, because I know what Altair is because it's coming to Xbox this year. I think that's about it.
I have a
And
little bit
Dynasty
of
Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors. See that's it was Dynasty Warriors and Final Fantasies were the games that I played on the PlayStation. So Dynasty Warriors, Final Fantasy, and Legend of Dragoon. Those are the big ones for my PlayStation nostalgia when it comes to, like, Japanese games. You could say stuff about Twisted Metal and God of War. Uh One thing I've noticed very much with Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is it's hard. It's challenging. I mean, there was this dude, Genshin. I had to look up a guide to beat him. He's one of the harder bosses in the game. He shows up. He's like the second boss, and none of your special abilities work. You have to basically block his attacks until he's vulnerable, and then you have to slice him, and you have to do it slowly and be very, very precise and very patient. So I can understand where people are saying the hard stuff, but it was funny because reminded me the game combat style, and it's funny it says Gaiden because like a dragon Gaiden is the going back to the brawler, but then it kind of reminds me as well of Judgment, where you just go in and you have combos and you're getting swarmed. I don't know what that style of game's called because it kind of kind of Judgment meets Devil May Cry,
Mhm.
and it's curious to see how that's going to change when you got the team that did Bayonetta and Astral Chain will go in and do their version of Ninja Gaiden because they're going to put their spin on it.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see how they blend Platinum Game style that we all know and love, but also stay true to the Ninja Gaiden formula.
I'm interested to see it. And like I said again, when I play the game, I'll be playing the games closer to when it comes out, so it'll be more obvious about the differences in the gameplay. And
Hmm.
who knows? Maybe the difference between the first three games is noticeable as well.
Indeed.
But
So, shall we move on to the next
uh,
one?
yeah, go ahead, get it.
All right. South of Midnight. First thoughts on this, and my wife was watching it with me. First thing that popped up in her head was, is the combat and the UI reminded her very much of Hogwarts Legacy. And she's
Oh,
now intrigued and wants to play it. And I concur because I also played Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm seeing combat Hogwarts Legacy with more melee combat.
so didn't play Hogwarts Legacy. Uh, Harry Potter fan, but I never cared about playing any of the games. So don't know what the combat's like in that. I've seen what it looks like, but don't know how it feels. South of Midnight, like the concept from the jump was interesting to me. Like when they first showed that announcement trailer, then we got the gameplay trailer, and I was like, okay, like this is right. This looks better than I was expecting it to be. Um, Coming out of a smaller studio, and not really seeing anything from them since we had few. And then this last trailer that they showed, well, the documentary that they showed, and then this last trailer, like once they gave us like a little bit deeper gameplay and stuff, I'm sold. I'm ready, and I'm glad they gave us a date. And let's stick to the date, please. I'm glad they gave us a date, so like I know when I'm gonna fit that in. But that's definitely gonna be one of the titles where whatever I'm playing at the time is getting dropped to start South Midnight.
Speaking of that date is April 8th of this year.
Yeah, so we got that all I need when it
My
comes to
cat,
Game
sorry.
Pass, all I need when it comes to Game Pass and when it comes to Xbox first party in general is like when I as I'm looking through the year, okay, where can I slot this in at? Where can I slot this in at? Where can I slot this in at? So I already have my February slot. We'll see if there's something for the March slot. If not, that's just going to be backlog time. Then April,
Yeah.
and as we'll talk later, we also got May. And then we'll definitely and this we already got the first half, and well, once we hit June or July, then we're going to get the rest of the year. We know it's going to be like
Actually,
four other games that we're at a minimum that we're going to get after June.
I'll tell you what, I think March is pretty much covered because I'm probably going to do multiple runs in Avowed.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's a game I'm probably gonna, because there's the warrior, there's the ranger, and then there's the blood mage. I forgot what the warrior class was called, but there's like three different styles of gameplay, and I guess it has like 11 different endings. So that might be one of the first games where I just go through multiple times.
Okay.
And I am a fraud. I only went through Near Automata once, so go
See,
ahead and flame me in the comments,
see, I'm
but
not the
not too hard.
biggest. I'm not the biggest like. I'm not the biggest repeat player. I was. So let me clarify. I used to be a repeat player, but that's when I didn't have access to a bunch of games. When I only had the games that I paid for myself, then I could play through them 3 or 4 times. You know, I played through the first Mass Effect like 6 times. I played through the second one like 4 times. Played through the third one like twice. But like I've played through Halo, all the Halos and all the Gears games like 2 or 3 times a piece. So I used to do a lot of playing through games. I ain't got time for that now. I got like 24 games on my list on my hard drive right now that I need to play through, and I'm still adding games as the year is going because more games are coming out. So, unless it really, unless it really like makes me, unless when I play the game, I'm really like, yo, I got to play through this again and try a different way. Like if I feel like that, then I'll do it. But not too many times do I play through full games. But to be fair, one of the most recent games that I played through again was the Outer Worlds. So maybe Obsidian's magic will make me want to do a second playthrough again.
Maybe, maybe. So back to South of Midnight. Dude, that one looks pretty neat. I'm liking the stop motion animation. The characters look pretty kind of outrageous, but in a good way, almost caricatures.
Mm-hmm.
Music looks fun. The combat looks fun. The I what's her name that plays Hazel?
Oh, damn! I wish you would have said what you wanted to answer for. I would have looked her up first. I forget what her name is.
But she does a hell of a job voice acting
Mm-hmm.
that, and
I
I'm curious to see what a mod bests roles to play.
character, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
he a
what roles he's playing?
character,
I,
or is he kind of like an overarching motion capture producer like Andy Serkis was in the Venom movies? I don't know.
when they were talking about it in the documentary, I
Hmm.
believe they were saying that he was like the motion capture director, but he also was playing a character in the game.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah.
That dude's awesome. I mean, Jar Jar Binks. I say okay. I'm not going to apologize for my love for Phantom Menace because I have a Naboo fighter up here. I don't care. Ahmad Best is one of the pioneers of motion capture characters.
Hmm.
Just respect all around.
I respect him for his craft. I don't respect the
Yep.
Phantom Menace. It is my second least favorite Star Wars movie.
I, I'm not apologizing for it.
It's
I don't
cool.
care.
Like you like what you like, but I'm gonna tell you you're wrong. But it's okay.
My second favorite's probably Revenge of the Sith. You can't beat pod. I loved pod racing, and I loved the Darth Maul fight. It's just
I think the pod racing took up too much of the movie.
it
And
did.
I did love the Darth Maul fight, but I thought pod like half the movie was pod racing. Like
That's
it was outrageous, and then like the other half was
is the
them getting them.
dialogue terrible? I agree.
Yeah, like half the movie was pod racing, and then the other half was like, you know what? You know what really? And I'm sorry, we're going off on a tangent. We're gonna get back to South of Midnight, but I gotta get this out real
We
quick.
get to-
I hated the part where he's in the starfighter and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with the starfighter. Let me press this button." And then he closes the thing and then he shoots off into space and he winds up being like in the space fight and helps them win. No, get out of here. Get
it's
out of here.
hey, midichlorians.
I hate the
Mi-
well. I don't hate the Phantom Menace. It is just my least favorite Star Wars
No,
movie.
I hated the Last Jedi. I hated that movie.
I don't
Anyway,
hate the Last Jedi.
oh, I hated it.
The Last Jedi is a really good movie. It is just a terrible sequel to The Force Awakens. That's all. It's just a terrible sequel to The Force Awakens, but it's a
It
really good Star Wars movie.
it's the only movie I ever walked out of the theater mad. I didn't like it, man. The sequel trilogy was anyway. We're going off.
Yeah,
We're
we're
going
way
off
off
on a
tangent.
tangent.
Back to South of Midnight.
Oh,
Oh,
and the reason I don't like the sequel trilogy is not for the reasons that people think it is. I just think it was too many cooks in the kitchen and really just convoluted. It's not anything bigoted. Trust me on that.
which 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 half the time is a lot of people's reason for not
Which
liking a sequel trilogy.
some people,
South of Midnight.
yes. So
So one of the reasons why I'm super excited and looking forward to this game is I really loved some of the parts that I played of We Happy Few. There were parts of that game that were great. I think a lot of the storytelling, the art style was really cool. Some of the set pieces were really nice. Like the uh there's like two ones that I always love. There's like when you go into there's like a house that's a mansion that you go into with like that whole situation with trying to sneak through the house and see what's going on, all the environmental storytelling and like the just the atmosphere that they built in that area. And the other time when you go up the hill and you talk to the people while they're tripping balls and like praying to, what were they praying to, like a yam? They were like praying to a sweet potato, I believe. It's such a stupid thing that's going on, but it was just that the parts of the game were really really good, especially if you get down to the DLC. So um seeing that they can focus now on the parts that they did well versus trying to behold themselves to the promise that they made to people when they first started making the game, because that was the biggest issue with We Happy Few, is that they were trying to make it still be a survival horror game, even though like halfway through they figured out like, hey, maybe we should make this more of a narrative based, like more linear game, and then they couldn't because they already promised people that gave them money. But I'm looking forward to seeing like when they actually have like, this is what we're doing and this is the direction we're going, and they're making a game like that. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot and I'm really congested. I apologize if that comes off crazy on this over the mic.
is that why you called an ambulance?
Oh, you can hear that in the back. Wait, let me mute it.
Do 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 do.
You
It's a
you
lot of
can talk.
ambulances.
Yeah, you can talk. I'm just not talking. I think they're like right down the street or something. Go ahead and give your thoughts on South of Midnight, and if you don't have any more thoughts, we can move on to the next game.
Yep. Um. So, like I said, pretty stoked for that one. My wife is pretty stoked for that one too. Yeah, just can't wait for that one. Just another nice little not really appetizer, but a main course on Game Pass.
Hmm.
Alrighty, so the next game is Expedition 33, April 24th of this year. Thoughts?
He said, "Forget the French parts." Um, the game looks amazing. I gotta give credit where credit is due. It looks amazing. The music sounds really good. It's very, very reminiscent of like old school JRPGs, but like brought to the current day. I could definitely see this having been, if they didn't go the route that they did with the remake, if they were going to make a remake of like older JRPGs like Final Fantasy 7 or something like that, and they wanted to stick to the turn based stuff, I could see this being the way that they would do it. Unfortunately, with how good it looks and how good the music sounds, and how different it seems from other turn-based
Sorry.
RPGs that we've seen, with it being a little bit more action oriented. My track record with turn-based RPGs is super, super, super low. I don't finish them. 9 times out of 10 is because I get tired of like seeing uh the same animations going into fights over and over and over and over again. And like when you're walking around, and they probably won't be these kind of issues, but like when you're walking around and just, I hate running into random engagements that you can't do anything about. Like you walk, 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 and then you get stopped, and there's like a screen pause, and then it it like fades out, and then the music starts playing, and then some little
It's Final
cutscene
Fantasy 7. It goes.
plays.
It goes. You're like, oh
Yeah.
shit! I was just near the entrance. Fuck.
And then you go through the same like 12 steps of things for every fight, like every 30 seconds. And I know that's not every turn-based RPG, but that's like one of the things that keeps me from beating these games. I think the last one I think one of the last ones I beat was like Wild Arms on the PS2 back in like 2005 or something. So I may give it a go. I always, when I see turn based games that I really actually want to give a try, I give them a try. But normally at some point I fall off because I've always been more of a action, real time oriented game player. That's all it comes down to. But
I'm
it looks
with
great.
you. I know a lot of Final Fantasy fans don't like the fact that Final Fantasies went more action RPG, but I love it. Final Fantasy VII Remake was awesome. Trials of Mana was awesome. Visions of Mana was a masterpiece. And now, granted, those are the Tales of Arise. I'm more into those as well.
Hmm.
Expedition 33 kind of reminds me of Legend of Dragoon. And Legend of Dragoon, that's hence Legend of Expedition 33. Legend of Dragoon was a turn based hybrid where you actually went in and you had to do combos where you had to hit X, triangle, triangle, square, circle. And if you didn't hit them, your combo was done.
Yeah,
Now, I think there was an Hi Fi Rush did something different where it didn't if you didn't hit it, you still did damage, but if you hit it, then you
it
did
did extra
bonus
damage.
damage,
Yeah,
extra damage. Uh so it's curious to see what Expedition 33 is going to do on that front. It looked very, very action packed. It looked very engaging and not boring. And it, I think you're probably going to like it more. I don't know if you ever played Legend of Dragoon,
I did.
but
I
it's
did. I didn't get that far into it, but I did. I did play it, and actually, I didn't get that far into it because I went to basic training, and when I came home
oh,
from basic training, my PlayStation was gone. So
mm,
I never got to get that far. Like I literally bought it maybe a couple weeks before I left for basic training, and played for a little bit, and then left. And then when I came back, my PlayStation 2 was gone and all my games.
since since we're
So
on the
never got to
topic,
finish it.
si- since we're on the topic, hey Sony, if you're listening, get level 5 games, the folks who did the Nino Kuni games, and reimagine Legend of Dragoon in an action RPG like that, and I'll buy a PlayStation.
Hey,
Deal?
also, if you're going to get level 5 to work on some, I don't know if it's their IP or not, but this is a game franchise that I played a bunch on my PS2. Bring back Dark Cloud if you're going to get level 5 to work on something, because uh, I remember me really enjoying that RPG.
Dark
You ever
Cloud,
played Dark
huh?
Cloud? Yeah.
I've never played that.
It's a PlayStation 2 level 5 game when basically like something happens and like I think a genie or something like destroys the town or village that the country that you live in. Everything's destroyed. So it's a lot of the stuff is based on building stuff. So you basically build out the towns and you got to get people to like you put the people in the right place. Oh, I remember my house was over here, or like I want to be able to look at the sunset, or so you're basically rebuilding these towns, and you're going to dungeons and stuff to get the materials and the people and stuff to rebuild stuff.
Oh,
So
okay,
like
gotcha.
yeah, so everything gets destroyed, and then these people are in the dungeons. You go in the dungeons, like you save them, but you're also getting the materials to be able to build stuff. Uh, it was a really interesting RPG because it focused on uh building the towns and building your equipment and doing a lot of crafting and then like increasing the potency of your equipment and stuff. And I don't know if it was new back then, but it was new to me because I haven't played a game like that before. But yeah, if you're going through something, bring back Dark Cloud and
Okay,
Legend of Dragoon.
exactly. Last thing I'll say about Expedition 33 is the story looks pretty intriguing. And you and I were talking about the protagonist looks just like Robert Pattinson with a beard. It's like
Yeah,
French Robert
it
Pattinson,
does.
and I just couldn't.
Oh,
Now I want to
so
play the
so you know who's the English voice actor for that character, right?
who
I just found this out from looking at a clip the other day. Charlie Cox,
Charlie Cox.
Daredevil.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. All right. Now I'm intrigued. I mean, I was going to play this damn game anyways. It looks like a magnum opus. It's a magnum opus French spin on JRPGs.
It better not be a magnum opus because it's the first game that they're doing. They're gonna have to outdo it the next time around.
No, it's going to be Expedition 44, and it's going to be something completely different. If you take that idea, credit me as a producer.
Let me get the. I want to see those checks.
I don't want to. I don't want to check. I just want to be part of the game industry, and that's my little nugget. So anyway, it's time, son.
Talk about it.
Yep,
And wait, this is my first time seeing this
yep.
the name,
That's
but I
yep. May
so
15th, 2025. Doom: The Dark Age of Testosterone. You
wait, no,
proceed, sir.
I need you to know before I say anything, I need you to explain dark the Doom Dark Age of Testosterone.
Because
I
that
know
what
what it
was
is because
flowing through me when I watched that whole presentation.
because
But wait, there's
we
more.
watched it together.
Oh yeah.
We watched the Dev Direct together over Discord, and yeah, the whole. He's funny. I'm gonna let him tell as much as he wants to tell. I ain't gonna tell everything. Go ahead and talk
No, you
about
good. Oh, okay.
Doom.
You want me to go? Okay, dude.
Yeah.
So you're already sitting there, and it's Doom. And Doom Eternal was fast paced. It was cool, stuff like that. I had some issues with that final DLC. I thought the story was stupid. But anyways, uh, I'm sorry. I don't like the whole evil version of yourself. It's
the,
so played out.
the devil is you,
I
but
I
evil.
don't care. Nope. Just don't. Here,
To to
you're.
to
This is you
to be
painted
fair,
red
it wasn't that the devil was him, but the evil version. It was the devil took his form because it was the most frightening form for him to take. That's that. So it
Did
it wasn't technically that the devil was like a doppelganger of him. The devil was like, I took this form because it's the most fearful form I can take, or some shit like that.
did you have to look that up afterwards?
No, I think he says it in like the dialogue. Like before you start the boss fight, that's why he's like when they show that he looks like you, there he's like, oh yeah, I took this form or something, whatever. It's been a while since I watched the cutscene, so Like it was. I wasn't caring about the cutscenes at that point. I was. I need to finish this because it's killing me inside.
It
The
if
the
that's the case,
DLC
that
was
was the most
amazing. The DLC was
the
great, but it was stupid dumb hard.
it was really dumb hard. I didn't mind the first DLC.
No, the
The
first
second
one wasn't
DLC was
like
cool up until the end, and then you're sitting there going, that
the what is
that
it
last boss
the
fight was
fight,
dumb.
not just the last bite fight. What is the fight where you're fighting like in the room and the platforms are going up and down, and
Yeah.
it's like four different angels like shooting at you while all the other like demons are running on the ground. That fight was stupid. And then
Hmm.
the platforms are like electrifying. Like, why stop this?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
That
My
one.
issue was the end where every time the Dark Lord got a hold of you, he would just flick you, and then all of a sudden he's back to full health. And I go, "You sons of bitches!" He would just sneeze on you and then catch health, and and he would.
It was it
I'm
was the
probably gonna get a get good comment.
and then having to fight multiple marauders at the same time was just unfair. Like, why'd y'all do that? That wasn't
uh,
necessary. That
I
that
didn't
wasn't
hate
necessary.
that. I didn't hate that.
I did.
I thought that was pretty. I love fighting Marauders, man. There was a rhythm to them that I liked fighting them. My only issue I had was the final boss. Everything going up to that was fine, but the final boss just, you know, farting on you and getting health is just super annoying. Because you'd get him down to health, and then he would go achoo, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one. And at a certain point, I was just dancing with him for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah, it wound up just being just like a dance because I couldn't.
Yeah,
I couldn't just barrel through the fight
it was just
I
a lot of foreplay,
yeah.
dude. That's all it was.
I've barreled through most of the game. Like, and sometimes that caused me having to die and like having to repeat areas a bunch of times. But I was just like, I don't feel like I don't play first person shooters to think and being. I play to shoot shit. So like I
Yep.
was focused on shooting stuff, and they wanted you to be meticulous and like tactical, and I'm like, no, I'm just gonna shoot stuff, and
Yeah.
that worked for most of my playthrough. But then like by the time I got to the second half of the ancient gods part 2, I was just like, all right, let me just I'll do what you want me to do. Just let me beat this damn game, please.
Yeah.
But I
It
say that
just
this,
became
yeah,
frustrating at a certain point.
so we get back on instead of complaining about the ancient gods part 2, let's get back to talking about how great
Exactly.
Doom the Dark Ages looked.
So Doom Eternal was fast paced. Now they're switching it over and wanting it to go slow. You take hits. That shield saw can parry stuff. You can just throw it. And the cool thing is it's bringing back that old 1980s Doom where you're just strafing
Strafing
along.
all over the place.
You don't have to zip around. There's accessibility features where you can even slow down the game even more. And then they just describe you as a tank. And then I'm just sitting there. They're showing off all these weapons, and I'm just sitting there going, "Dude, I'm already sold."
Oh
And then
yeah.
they go, "But wait, there's more." And then you get in a giant mech, and you're sitting there going, "Oh my god, this is so dope." And I'm just sitting there doing autistic rocking as excited to see it.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
diagnosed, by the way. I can say it.
I was definitely like the Krieger. Like my penis can only get so erect while watching the thing. So, and
Flying
I
dragons with
yes,
no multi.
yes,
They went so hard on the campaign that they
and they said
decided
we
to
don't need
opt
no
out of a
multiplayer.
multiplayer.
And you know what? That's perfectly fine because
Just
Doom's
give
not
me
the
Quake
multiplayer
later.
game. Yeah, just give
Just
us
give me
Quake later.
Quake
Doom's
later.
not the multiplayer game.
Nope.
But so I didn't play Doom 2016 when it first came out because I was like, Doom, like they try and bring back old Doom from like the 95 on the computer. Like I don't want to, like I don't care about Doom. My dad played it. So big shout out to my dad because I wouldn't be anywhere like I wouldn't have gave I wouldn't have cared at all about the Bethesda acquisition from Microsoft if it wasn't for my dad introducing me to several um, games and franchises that they own that I was just like, oh, I wouldn't have played this if it wasn't for my dad being like, yo, you really need to play this. That's Dishonored. I wouldn't have played Dishonored if it wasn't for my dad playing through the first game like 4 times and being like, "Yo,
Hmm.
you gotta play it. This is great." And then Doom, another game that he played through like two, maybe like I think he played through it twice, but he was raving about how great it was, and I was like, I'll get to it some other time. And then it was then we discovered game sharing. So we game shared, and so I had access to Doom because we game shared, and I beat it. And I was like, "Yo, this was great. This is one of the best first-person shooters that I've played in a long ass time." And then that was sometime in 2020, like a couple months before Doom Eternal came out.
Hmm.
And then I played Doom Eternal, and I was like, "Yo, this is a masterpiece." And I
Yep.
know a lot of people had an issue with like a lot of the platforming stuff and everything. I thought that the
Ooh,
platforming and
I
moving around and
love
jumping,
the
yeah,
platforming
I was about to
though.
say that is what elevated Doom Eternal over Doom for me. Outside of like the
Yes.
gunplay was better, the gunplay was better. The dance with the different enemies and stuff was better. But overall, like
Yes, the
the
base game of
platforming and
Doom
scale
Eternal was a
jumping and all that
masterpiece.
stuff, yeah. But they I can't think of anything negative to say about anything that they showed of Doom: The Dark Ages.
Nope.
Uh, it's going to look amazing. It looks
Hmm.
amazing. It's going to
Yep.
play great. We already know that from playing Doom and Doom Eternal. Um, I'm excited for the one thing that they said during the thing that I'm excited to see is them bringing the story forward into actual the game and having more cutscenes and introducing more characters and stuff because they for the people that didn't care about the story, Doom and Doom Eternal did a great job of making it so that if you care about the story, you'll read all the codexes. If you don't care about the story, just play through the game, shoot shit. But for somebody that like read all the codex, I've like collected and read all the codexes in 2016, collected and read all the codexes in Doom Eternal. Like they actually did a really interesting job of taking parts of the lore from the previous Doom games, integrating it into the lore that they created for the newer Doom games, and like giving you like a solid base for lore in the universe that Doom is set in to go forward. So them actually like making it not um side content anymore and bringing it forward to be like face forward facing for Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm looking forward to what kind of story they tell. Because story wasn't a big part of Doom or Doom Eternal unless you've read all the codexes and stuff.
Hmm. Ah, it's funny you bring that because they're ramping up the cutscenes, bringing back some old characters. It looks like you're going to be, yeah, man. It just, I saw a glimpse of a red demon. I'm wondering now that I'm an idiot and didn't really pay attention to the story in Doom Eternal. It looks like we might be seeing the guy that actually possessed or took your form. So it almost looks like a prequel sequel where a lots more is unveiled in the prequel.
I was talking and I muted myself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um yeah, because it's supposed to be a prequel, so I'm pretty sure that like we'll see him like it'll be him, but as himself versus him looking like you.
Hmm.
But I knew like I'm just excited to see where they go with it, and I'm
Yep.
excited to see because they've only shown us like 3 or 4 weapons, and we know from the previous Dooms that there's typically like 8 or 9, like 9 different weapons in the
Yep.
game, and they've only showed us like not I'm not including I'm not including the shield because the shield looks like you'll be able to have that with everything. But they've only really showed us the super shotgun, which we knew was going to be there, and the skull shredder that was dope, and whatever
We got the
the
Morning Star.
the arrow gun that looks like it's from the Van Helsing movie with
Yeah.
with Hugh Jackman from like the early 2000s.
Hmm.
I just watched that the other day, by the way, and and yeah, the Morning Star and the Gauntlet and everything. So I'm really excited. I liked how in especially Doom Eternal, like depending on what weapons you used and against what enemies or whatever, like the battles really depended on what weapons you use. So if you're using your machine gun and your plasma thing, they're gonna take a little bit longer. You gotta get a whole bunch of shots. You're running around looking for ammo and stuff. But if you're using like the bigger stuff, you're trying to get skill shots and hit hit a what's the abacus, not the abacus, the um the plasma like torque bow basically. You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah,
talking?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Hmm.
it's like a plasma torque. Where if you're using that, you're more looking to get headshots or like weak point shots versus running around and just spraying and praying. So it'd be nice to have those different dances as they refer to the fights and
Yep. I
but
wonder what the Doom Dark Age equivalent to the BFG is going to be. That's where I'm curious.
hmm hmm. I
What if
guess
it's
we'll
just a
see.
trebuchet on your arm? Just and it just has cog coming out saying shout out to trebuchets again. Oh, if it was a trebuchet, man, you know Iron Lord's gonna dunk on
Oh yeah.
it. So
Trebuchet. Yeah.
shout out to trebuchets.
Yeah. I that will never it will never not be. And I'm always very positive with Xbox shows. And like
Yeah.
I wasn't like that was a bad thing, but I was also like, yo, what the fuck? Did we just did we just sit here? They just sit here and do this direct they did this thing and did like a 5 minute segment on trebuchets.
Yep. So no, but Doom Dark Age, man. Oh,
Ooh
it's gonna be
wee.
it's ooh wee ooh. It's gonna be juicy. So what we didn't see is Fable. So I suspect we're going to see Fable probably as a deep dive in June.
I was about to say, I think if so, I hope, and
I hope they don't
and
do another Call of Duty doing
well, I
that.
was gonna say I hope that the what we've seen for the last couple years in terms of the pacing and what's going on with all the Xbox shows, I hope they keep that because I think they're in the perfect position when it comes to their shows to show their games for the when we get the dev direct at the beginning of the year that's showing us like the first 6 months, then we get like the not E3 showcase
Yep.
in June or July that shows us what the rest of the year looks like, plus what we can look forward to in the coming year or so after that, and then we get the different shows with Gamescom and Tokyo Game Show and the Game Awards. But with the showcase, we've been getting these directs. Like we got the Starfield direct, we got the Call of Duty direct. Um, I feel like Fable's gonna be the direct game for this year. I think Call of Duty will still get a direct, but I don't think it will get a like right after the show direct that it got this last year because I think they did it this last year specifically because they wanted to make sure people know we
Hmm.
got COD now, bitches.
Yep.
So I think Fable is going to be the direct game for the showcase, and I'm excited for them to. And that's probably, and I feel like that's why they've shown us the trailers that they've shown us the way that they've shown them, because they want to save like the big wow of like this is what Fable is going to look like.
So what do you think of Ninja Gaiden 4 and Fable release? You think Fable's like a November game and Ninja Gaiden September
Phew. I'm not sure it did like
and
I'm
Call
not
of Duty
sure that.
October?
Uh, so
Dude,
okay,
this year's stacked.
it is
And
it
then
is
we
stacked.
haven't even mentioned Outer Worlds 2.
Not at all. So like I feel like so actually to so we'll put those four games in. We'll say Fable, Outer Worlds 2, Call of Duty, Ninja Gaiden 4. That's what we'll talk about for the fall, right?
Hmm.
I don't think you want they're different games, but still just in general, I don't think you want the two RPGs like back to back. Um
Hmm.
I think if we could get a good spread out, I think like the Outer Worlds 2 and Fable are the kind of games that would have a good chance to be in the game of the year conversation, so to speak. I don't think that's important to Xbox, but if it was important to them, I would see them making sure that those games came out in September or October. But then again, they didn't try to make sure they didn't make sure Indiana Jones came out to be part of that conversation, and Indiana Jones was fantastic in 2024.
Hmm.
So I don't actually. I like. Let me scratch that because I don't think they care about that. I can see September, October, November, December, right? And I could see it being like Fable in September, Ninja Gaiden in October, Outer Worlds 2, and what's the
Dude,
fourth one?
you remember when
What's the
Matt
fourth one? What's the
Booty's?
fourth game that I was just talking about?
Oh, I don't know. You remember Matt Booty said that they were trying to get a game out every quarter. Seems
Yeah.
like it's two every quarter right now, and they may need to slow their roll a bit.
Oh, they're gonna have to. So
They're gonna
here's
have to, man.
the and here's the thing that is crazy now when you think about it is we went from Xbox has no games at all to being like, yo, pretty soon Xbox is gonna have to like you're gonna have a problem with like your pacing and your scheduling. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty and obviously there's somebody that is making hundreds of thousands of dollars specifically to do that, right? Specifically to look at a time schedule and be like, well, they're supposed to get done around this time and they're supposed to get around this time. Let's make sure that we're not putting them 2 weeks apart and cannibalizing sales. So
Yeah,
somebody's out there paying attention to this.
and they sort of did
But
that with Avowed, and I'm not going to be surprised if they did it with Fable.
yeah, no, I can see them. I can see them being like, oh well, because that's a good problem to have, and it's a good like it's not a bad delay. Like a lot of
No,
delays are like they're not where they need to be. But when the delay is we're where we need to be, but we just can't release right now because we don't want to step on somebody else's toes, that's perfectly fine. Um, I think we're going to see a lot of that, but we also I think that's also just on Xbox with
Fable could
keeping
pull some
pace.
bullshit like, "Hey, early access, New Year's Eve, 15 days early," and its actual release date is January 15th, and they go, "See, we made the 2025 deadline."
Yeah. but so,
Microsoft, don't do that.
and what they and then we're not even talking about titles coming out in the summer because the summer is really not the big time for games to come out. It's the big time to talk about what's coming out, but it's not the big time for games to come out. But when there's so many games, maybe you have a summer release. Maybe Fable's a summer release. Maybe
Maybe.
maybe the Outer Worlds 2 comes out in August or something.
Ugh.
We'll see.
Ah, so
I'm
much
just
to
excited
play.
that there's so many games coming out that we can be excited to play.
And I still got to buy, and I still got to fit Monster Hunter Wilds in this schedule because they're doing a second beta on it the week of Avowed. So if I get, I guess, burnout or frustrated or something, I'll just pop over to Monster Hunter Wilds beta and all that good stuff. But
and
yeah,
then and then we still got other stuff that we make the assumption is coming this year and we just don't know yet, like the next
Towerborn.
Towerborn, the next update for Starfield, because I know people weren't super high on Shattered Space, and to me, I enjoyed all the content that they gave us extra, but it wasn't my favorite of the faction quests.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was like my third favorite faction quest because the first two obviously are UC Vanguard and Crimson Fleet.
Yeah.
But um, I'm excited to see what the next thing is that they're adding to the game for that big content update. One of these days, if you're listening, Bethesda, you better give us mechs in Starfield. Don't put all these mech graveyards all over the place. Don't show us what these mechs look like all over the place, and then not give us mechs. That's all I'm
Well, you heard him, Todd Howard. Get on
saying.
it.
But
Get
the,
on it.
the the rest of the year is stacked. Like when we look at what we know is coming this year, and then knowing that there probably is going to be at least two or three more games that we don't know about yet that come out this year. Like we didn't like other than people other than rumors and people thinking about it. Ninja Gaiden 4 was going to come out this year until this week. And there's probably at least two more games like that where we won't know that they're coming out until a partner preview or the showcase or hear something at Gamescom or whatever. It's just we went from like 1 to 2 games coming out a year from first party to what this year is 6 at a minimum. 8
Yeah,
if we get 2 extra ones. It's good. I'm loving it.
we uh we are having a good time over here on Team Green. If you're on Team Blue, Team Red,
I'm
you're gonna see Team Green content soon. Enjoy it.
yeah. I was
Thanks
like,
for
I hope
funding
you
my
guys are
Game
having
Pass
fun over
subscription.
there.
Yep, and we're gonna give you some stuff. Ninja Gaiden being one of them. But so, uh, pretty good show this time. So what we're gonna do on the dish is we've already filmed the dish. It was actually very tasty. I'm gonna make a video short promoting Ninja Gaiden, but we're doing a green tea mint matcha funnel cake with a green tea mint syrup on top. We'll have that video out soon when I have time. So that's what we're doing. Anything you want to shout out or anything like that before we cut loose here?
Oh, well, actually, two real quick things that I just wanted to point out too. We are called Game Pass Gumbo, so I just
Hmm.
wanted to talk about. We had a pretty nice drop for Game Pass with some what is it, like 5 day 1 games this month
Yep.
going into Game Pass Ultimate, plus some older ones coming back that um I haven't played all these games, and I know some of these are good. People like them. So we had like games like Sniper Elite Resistance, Lonely Mountains, Snow Riders, Orcs Must Die, Death Trap, Citizen
Hmm.
Sleeper 2. I still have to play Citizen Sleeper 1, and I got to play it before it leaves Game Pass. But Citizen Sleeper 2 is dropping this month. Eternal Strands, which is another one that I want to check out because the physics based combat looks pretty cool,
Yeah.
and you can climb one thing. It looks like a blend between like Shadow of the Colossus and the Immortal Phoenix Rising.
Oh, okay,
Um,
gotcha.
Far Cry New Dawn is on there now, which is
Hmm.
interesting. I never played Far Cry 5, so um, Gigantic is on Game Pass,
Oh,
which is
Far Cry
New
New
Dawn.
Dawn. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like it was like the expandalone sequel
Expand
to
alone. Yeah.
it was the expandalone of Far Cry 5.
Yep.
But Gigantic being on Game Pass is hilarious because I don't know if you know anything about that game's
Hmm.
history with them, pushing it to be. It was supposed to be like a big push of a game for Xbox, and they were like marketing it, and then it came out, and then it quietly like disappeared, and then I guess something happened to where they were like, you know what, we're bringing it back,
Yeah.
and and they brought it back, and now it's going to be on Game Pass, and I hope the game does well because it was interesting. Obviously, we've gotten other games that are similar like it now, but it was interesting the concept of a game when they first announced it and released it. So hope it's doing well. Another game called Shady Part of Me. Starbound is coming to console, and then a few games that are going to standard. But we got a good. It's not nothing AAA, but we got a good solid stream of games that came in January. And like I said, I want to find some time somewhere in between all these other games that I'm playing to play Citizen Sleeper, so I can play Citizen Sleeper 2. And I'm definitely gonna put some time in the Eternal Strands, but unfortunately it won't be right now because everything I already got what I'm playing planned for the rest of January and February. It won't be until
Hmm.
March that I get to like add something else to my rotation.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you had a chance to check it out, but did you Xbox posted on the Xbox Wire the Xbox Excellent Awards where they showed the different games. They put out a list. I think it was like 20 for each category, but it was 4 different categories where games did extra well in. So it was the store rating category, which was the highest rated content across the store. Is the player engagement category, which is the games that had the highest average hours of players for the first 6 weeks. Uh, Daily active users is obviously had the largest number of daily active users, and top units sold. It's on the Xbox Wire page, so if you are interested in this stuff, check it out. They didn't put it. The one thing I would have rather them put them in actual order, but they didn't put them in order. They put them in alphabetical order, and not like actual who from top to bottom, best to least. But it's a solid list of games on here that I think uh it's not super surprising once you look at it. Like units sold games like 7 Days to Die, Avatar, Black Ops 6, Veilguard, Sparking Zero, Dragon Dogma 2, the all the EA sports games. Surprisingly for me, Flight Sim is up there on the top units sold for 2024. I wouldn't expect Flight Sim to be up there, but hey, like people love flying their planes apparently. Uh, I don't know. I thought that was just something that to point out that they did this cool thing where they kind of give you. I like when they give more insight into statistics and the who what games were the most played games, what games that people spend the most time in, etc. Stuff like that. All the engagement. I like statistics and stuff. So I just thought it was something that was interesting that they put out for us to see, kind of like a
Yeah.
snapshot of some of these categories. Um, Anything else
All
that
right.
was nah, and then nothing else. Yeah, but check that out on Xbox Wire. Um, we got. I just had a brain fart. Oh, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, it's about all I got. Uh, let's see. Not sure what the next one. We're probably going to do Avowed as the next one. That would probably be the big
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. Still figuring out a recipe with that. If you do want to see Cork's reactions to the developer direct, he showed up on Boom's show during that, and I will try to find the
Mm-hmm.
link to that and put it in the description if you want to catch up with Cork. If you're aware of Cork, you probably already know that and negate what
Watched
I
it
just said.
before, yeah.
You probably already watched it.
But you know what?
Uh,
Watch it again.
watch it again. Help out Boom. Eat, love, game. Thanks for coming by and checking us out. Good
Yep,
night.
yep. Good night.